Okay. So you are recording and we're live on YouTube. And you have Helen, yourself, Bob, and Perry.
Okay, good. In that case, I guess we can start rolling. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the December 16th, 2020 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. We will open up with a roll call. Mr. Urice, we understand, is having trouble getting in. We will be checking with him. Ms. Hofstetter.
No, she's muted. Helen, unmute yourself.
Helen, you there?
Here.
Okay. Mr. Kiokio.
Here.
Mr. Salvain.
Here.
And Mr. Renz is absent. I believe Mr. Haas is absent. And Chairman Finaldi is here. So we do not have to seat alternates for tonight's meeting. We'll be checking in to see if Mr. Urice clicks in. Before we get to the meeting, just again very briefly, this meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting via Zoom or via telephone. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. With that said, commission members, the minutes have been distributed actually via a link on our agenda. Hopefully everybody had an opportunity to review those. And unless there's any discussion, I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of December 2nd.
So moved.
Motion made to accept the minutes. Do I hear a second?
Unfortunately, the link that I had in the agenda didn't work for me. But while I have the floor for a second, I'd like to just say I missed last time's meeting, and for which I apologize, it was unexpected. And I did review the videos, and so I just want to go on record that I'm up to speed on everything that happened last meeting. But I don't feel I should second the motion because I didn't get the minutes.
Okay, who made the motion to approve the
Harry.
minutes?
Harry.
Can I get a second?
I'm in the same position as Helen.
The link didn't work for you guys?
No.
That's because we lost everything and I re-entered it all and I should have sent the agenda out again.
Okay.
After I sent the
Okay.
agenda out, Taylor had to reboot the whole website. And
Wow.
So why don't you make a motion to table it? We'll do it at the January 6th
Yeah.
meeting.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Perry, would you make a motion to table
Sure.
the minutes?
I'd like to make a motion to table last meeting's minutes until the January 6th meeting.
I'll second that.
All right. Motion made and seconded.
okay.
Sorry, I have to do the roll call vote, everybody. Sorry. A yes is to table, a no is not to table. Ms. Hofstetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
Yes.
Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
and Mr. Finaldi votes yes. We will postpone the acceptance of the minutes until our next meeting. Commission members, please note your calendar. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for January 6th, 2021. We have no new public hearings this evening. And just in case, I'm not sure if this news was emailed out, but the first item under continuation of public hearings, the matter of JAR Associates LLC, D&B Wellness LLC, that we received a request to continue. Is that correct, Jen?
That is correct.
Okay. So unless anyone has any objection, I'll entertain a motion. Do we need a motion, Jen? Do we do a motion to continue?
No.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know.
You should.
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Okay. Just to keep the record straight and to follow parliamentary procedure, I'll entertain a motion to continue the matter of JAR.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to continue. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Another exciting roll call vote. I'm sorry about this torture, but there's nothing I can do. Yes is to continue, and no is not to continue. Ms. Hofstetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
Yes.
Yeah, think that one over. Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
Chairman Frinaldi votes yes, that matter is continued. Which brings us to item 2, under continuation of public hearings. Danbury Mall LLC, application for revised special exception, revised site plan approval to amend previous approval for trip generation over 500 vehicle trips per day and add fast food restaurant with drive-through use to previously approved restaurant Shake Shack in the CG 20 Zone 7 Bacchus Avenue. I'll skip the reading of the map numbers. Commission members, a significant amount of information on this application did go out.
Am I on board?
Oh, here's Joel. Joel, you're
Can't
right.
hear anybody.
Yes,
I
Joel is
see you
here.
talking, but
All right, Mr. Urice is
I
here.
can't hear you. Meeting
You
is
can't hear me now?
streaming.
Can you hear me now, Joel?
Looks
Hello?
like it.
Can't hear you, Arnie.
Hmm.
Damn,
Make sure his mute isn't checked down the bottom.
the speaker over here done 100%.
Can you hear me now?
11. You gotta keep making noise, I guess.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna.
I'm gonna text
Can't hear
him.
you. Can't hear anybody.
Um.
Tell him to leave and join again. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe.
I'll text him. I'll try
No,
to text.
I'm texting him now, Arnie.
Okay, Jen, thank you.
Huh,
Hold up a piece of paper and show him.
Need a magic marker to do this.
Joel, can you hear us now?
No, he just texted me. He can't hear us.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's keep going and we'll figure something out for Joel. I would just as soon call him on my phone. I don't know if we'll get any feedback or any echo from that though.
I think you do.
He's out, so I think he'll try to get back in.
All right, okay. We're gonna keep going. Okay, as I was mentioning, now there was a considerable amount of information distributed on the matter of Danbury Mall LLC and updated reports. I think Kelly Green, Abdul, the airport administrator, some others. Hoping people had an opportunity to review those. And with that said, I will ask if there's anyone wishing to speak in favor of this application. Attorney Beecher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Tom Beecher of the Collins Hannafin Law Firm, and I represent Danbury Mall LLC, the applicant in this matter. Our development team's a little bit smaller for this meeting than last time, but we do have Tony Farmer, Justin Garrison, Paul Battagliano, and Joe Balskis with us tonight. First, I want to thank you all for holding this special meeting. I know we weren't the only ones scheduled to be on the agenda, but we very much appreciate your holding this meeting, this second meeting in December. When we left off at the last meeting, we were primarily just waiting for the city traffic engineer's report. We did receive that report from Abdul, and he only had one recommendation. The mall has agreed to make the traffic control upgrades recommended in item 4 of Abdul's report. Also, since the last meeting, we had an opportunity to refine the plans with respect to internal traffic flow within the restaurant area. This was achieved with input and assistance from Jen, as well as a collaborative discussion with the representatives of both the tenant restaurants, Shake Shack and Longhorns. And so at this point, I'll just turn it over to Paul to go through those minor refinements in the revised plan that was filed.
Thanks, Tom. Once again, this is Paul Battagliano. I'm civil engineer with VHB. If I could share my screen, I'll put up the site plan. I think you might have to allow me to do so.
Yeah, you should be good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, could everyone see the site plan?
Yes,
Great, thank you. So I appreciate the other commission members who said they reviewed the past the meeting notes and the video from last time, so we don't have to get too much into too much detail. But just for very quick reference, the Shake Shack is restaurant 1, the Longhorn is restaurant 2. We had 2 points of access into our parking field, one here that enters a shared parking area for the 2 restaurants in the front, and also secondary access in the back with parking in the rear. And there is a connection here because that is shared parking. So you could circulate back and forth within the parking areas without exiting into what we're calling the ring road. As Attorney Beecher mentioned, we worked with staff and with the 2 tenants, basically just come up with some internal pavement markings and signage that would better direct vehicles exiting the app pickup lane, which you could see is right here around the building. So this is basically what's new to the site plan from what was approved last year. And basically it's not shown on this plan, but we added a stop sign here with the left turn arrow directing cars to exit this way. And for cars that are in this part of the parking lot, we added a straight arrow here and a sign that says exit to the mall straight ahead. And basically all we're doing, that was something between the tenants to redirect traffic away from the front door of this tenant. And it basically doesn't really restrict any of the movements that were there before. And that was something that staff commented on, because initially we had this no left turn and the striping here. So that's now eliminated. So there really is just guidance, signage, and pavement markings. So where we left off last time, that was really the one planning staff comment. And I do appreciate the Deputy Planning Commissioner being available to talk very quickly as soon as these plans were out. And we worked together and discussed thoughts and got that resolved very quickly. So I do appreciate your staff's effort on that part. The only other comment that we were waiting on at the time of the last meeting was regarding from the traffic engineer. And basically we did receive some comments, and they basically did not, we're in agreement that the traffic added by this use is not going to have any really negative impact, and that no offsite improvements would be required. There was a comment that came up, was really similar to a comment that came up last year, and basically was re-added, and we were asked to comply with, and the applicant has agreed to do that. And that was basically just some signal equipment work. It was basically right now the mall signal and the back of staff signal, the controllers are different type of units. And we were just asked to replace the mall controller with the same type of equipment, just so the systems are integrated better. Basically, really no impact to the plan itself. So we hope that since that really is electrical work, that's something that could be conditioned, and we could work out with staff. So basically, Mr. Chairman, those were the only changes in summary. And at this point, either I could turn it back to Tom or open it up to you for questions.
Thank you. Any questions from Mr. Vitaliano at this time, commission members?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Ellen, please.
It's about in reviewing the video from last meeting, I have a question about the loading dock area, which is, as I understand it, next to, I'm looking at the diagram you have up, right next to the Shack track. Is that correct? Yes, right there.
That's correct, yes.
So how big are the trucks? I don't know, as I remember getting into, that anybody got into how big the delivery trucks are. But how big are they? And if they're like semis or something, I'd like to know how they get in there and get out.
Yep, that's a very good question. Shake Shack actually uses a smaller truck. It's a 28-foot long trailer, which is about half the size of the semis that you might be envisioning for a typical retail use. So they can circulate basically from around the building this way. I'm sorry, from this way actually, and come around, or really from this way around the building and go in this way. So the truck being smaller, we did check that, and there's basically 2 avenues to get in there. And they did acknowledge that they want to do this in the morning. And obviously with these restaurants being primarily lunch and dinner, there really should not be any cars there in the early morning, and that's when they said that they would make their deliveries.
So do you envision them backing in there to the dock, or do they just unload, going in forward and just open up the back of the truck and back up a little in the lane and go around the shack track?
They really could do either one. They will never go around the track this way. If they come in, they're going to back out and go around this way, or if they back in, they're going to pull out this way. They'll never go around the track. The loading is just, I'm going to zoom in right there. So the loading is actually this door in the rear corner. These are the dumpsters right now. So basically when the truck's here in the loading zone or pulled up on the side, they're going to enter up this ramp and through this door in the corner of the restaurant.
Oh, the dollies or whatever. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you on that. I was curious. Appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, Joel.
To Helen's question, I think you referred to your delivery vehicles as a 28-foot trailer. Is it a trailer or a bobtail?
They said it was a 28-foot trailer with a cab, which we equated to a WB40, which is actually larger than that. So when I ran my simulations through this site, I ran them for a WB40 and a single unit 40. The single unit 40 is a box truck that's 40 feet long, which does not articulate, and the WB40 is an articulating cab and trailer, which is an overall 40-foot length. So
Okay.
the simulation I ran slightly larger than what they said they would need.
Okay, so you ran it for a trailer as well as a bobtail,
Yes, sir.
or box truck, as some would call it. Okay. The second question was, I apologize, I had trouble getting to the meeting, so I was a few minutes late, but as I read the airport administrator's report, I think he referenced that any change to this required reapplication approval to the FAA. Did I misread that?
No, I don't believe he did. When we submitted last year to the FAA, we submitted an application for the buildings and the light poles, if you could believe it, which makes sense. Every light pole on the site on our new area, and we received approval of that. What we did this time is we resubmitted, even though the building basically shifted about 6 feet in this direction or to the right. And it's actually a little lower, but when you submit the FAA application, you round up. So it's basically a very nominal change, and it's actually lower than the light poles as well. So the two light poles moved, and we submitted for those as well. While we have not received their formal response yet, the city administrator, I believe through his letter, what his intent was, and obviously I don't want to speak for him, but was that we don't expect there to be an issue because the change was so minor. And it really was just shifting that building over and a couple of light poles over. So we are going to receive a new FAA approval just to have a clean record. We do not anticipate any issue with that whatsoever. And then at the end of construction, we actually need to recertify to the FAA to show them that we built what they approved.
Okay, then let me kind of reiterate. As I understood it, airport administrator actually said he saw no issue, subject to having to refile and get approval from the FAA. So we can't really sign off on this, except subject to receiving that approval from the FAA.
That's correct, and that's fine.
Yeah, that would be fine. We don't see an issue with that.
That's it. Thanks, Ernie.
Okay. Anyone else have questions at this time? Okay, Attorney Beecher, was there anything else you wanted to add to your presentation?
No, we covered everything last time other than the things that we had to wrap up tonight. So we thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Anyone else in favor? Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Anyone in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application? Jennifer, looks like Kelly Green, Abdul, we talked about the airport. Is there anything else open at this time, Jen?
No, there's not. Staff's recommendation would be, if it pleases the commission, to close the hearing. There are all outstanding comments have been addressed.
Okay, good. Well, commission members, unless anyone else has anything else to talk about, we've covered everything. The presentation is done. The reports are in. I'll entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, before we
Right.
do, could I ask staff a question?
What's that?
Before we do that, can I ask staff a question?
Of course you can.
Jennifer, do you have a problem being able to write an approval subject to receiving the FAA approval?
I would have to, I'm not entirely sure. I have to check on that. Whether, I don't know that I can issue an approval off of a third party waiting for the FAA. It's my understanding from the airport administrator, he signed off, again, and I don't have his report in front of me. I don't remember his language specifically. But he felt because it shifted further away from the transition zone and it was lower. Again, it's a formality before the FAA, there was no more penetration into the airport space. So he felt he was comfortable saying that the airport had no issues, but again, he's waiting for the formality of the FAA approval. So
Yes, as I read his comment, and I don't have it in front of me too, but I could get it. He didn't have a problem with this project.
no, he did not
But
at
he
all.
referenced, it's still subject to FAA because any change on this project, and I think the word was any change in this project, had to get an FAA approval.
That's right. He said he's given it a positive recommendation, provided the new FAA obstruction analysis concurs.
Approve this with an outstanding agency approval coming through.
I will need to I don't want to give an answer that I'm not entirely certain on, so I will just need to double check on that.
Right, but we can still close the public hearing and then.
Absolutely,
Right, we can still do that. Okay.
yes.
Just one quick question before we close it to Attorney Beecher. If we assume that this approval will be granted, do you have any idea in terms of what time they might start doing the construction? How soon am I?
I defer to Tony and Justin on that one, but I think they wanted to break ground in March.
That's correct. We want to start construction in March, have the pads ready for the tenants by June, and we hope that they will open early to mid-fall.
Great, thank you very much for that.
So you'll have to get your approval from FAA by March.
Yeah.
We'll have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's something that Jen can check with Robin.
Okay.
Robin on, but I think you can condition it on getting that particular approval.
All right. Commission members, unless there's anything else, I will entertain a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Motion
Sorry,
made.
wait, who made the motion in the second?
I
Joel
made,
made-
Joel made,
I can take it.
Do you get that, Joanne?
Wait a minute. Joel and Perry? Or Joel and Bob?
Joel and Bob, Joel and Bob.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, there has been a motion made and seconded to close the hearing. A yes is to close, a no is not to close. Mr. Urice,
yes.
Ms. Hostetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
yes?
Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
and Chairman Finaldi votes yes, the public hearing is closed. I think it might be a good idea to have a motion to move this to old business for discussion and possible action item 2. Maybe we could give Jennifer some guidance on this.
So
Would that-
moved.
Oh, motion made and seconded, just like that. So again, a motion has been made and seconded to move this matter to item 2 under our old business agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will take yet another roll call vote. Again, I apologize for the torture. A yes is to move to old business. A no is to not move to old business. Mr. Urice,
Yes.
Mrs. Hostetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
Yes.
Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
and Chairman Finaldi votes yes. This item has been moved to item 2 under our old business for discussion and possible action. And speaking of that portion of our agenda, we will move to item 1 under old business for discussion and possible action. West Myrie Holdings LLC, application for floodplain permit, 49 Myrie Brook Road, F19004, special exception 778. Again, Jennifer's report dated 12/10/20 was previously, I think it was Jennifer's report, maybe it wasn't.
Yes.
12/10/20. Just a brief refresher, everybody. This was the, on November 18th, we approved the, on Myrie Brook Road, the 28,000 square foot aircraft hangar. You might remember this one. So with that said, Jennifer, fire away.
Mr. Chairman, Sharon, can you share my, share the screen for me?
Yeah, you should be good.
Okay, hold on a second. There we go, hold on. See if. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so if you recall, as Arnie said, this, the Planning Commission approved last month the construction of the airport hangar. Let's see, can you see? Hold on, I just want to get the annotate the mouse. Can you guys see the mouse?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, so this was the new building, the existing buildings down here, that's remaining. This dash line was the building that was to be removed. Based off the property lines, this tiny little corner back here is actually in the floodplain. This dash line right here is actually the flood limits. So again, just a tiny little corner, but based off the regulations, a determination needs to be made that there's actually no work being done in the floodplain. There's no grading, there's no filling. So based on that, staff has no issue with the proposed floodplain permit. So, and oh, hold on, I want one more picture I want to show you. So this is, because I like showing you the pictures. This is obviously the airport. This is the new Glickenhaus building, this round one. That's where they're making the Ferraris. This is, can you still see my mouse? This right here is the airport hangar to be removed. The new one's going in here. You can see this light green. This is actually the floodplain, so they're only clipping it in the corner. But as you can see, most of the airport is in the floodplain. But again, this one corner just happens to clip the property, but no work is being proposed.
Thank you, Jennifer. Questions for
Thanks.
Jennifer for the floodplain permit?
Looks like if we get enough rain, we could land on 2 planes, huh?
All right. If there's no other comments or questions of Jennifer, I'll entertain a motion to approve. I keep saying approve the floodplain permit.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Helen, seconded by Bob. Is there any further discussion? All right, for the 5th time this evening, a roll call vote. Yes is to approve the floodplain permit, and no is to not approve it. Mr. Urice,
Yes.
Ms. Hostetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
Yep.
Mr. Sylvain.
Yes.
Chairman Finaldi votes yes, the floodplain permit is approved. We're going to drop to item 2 on our old business agenda, Danbury Mall LLC. Application for revised special exception, revised site plan approval to amend previous approval for trip generation over 500 vehicle trips per day and add fast food restaurant with drive-through use to previously approved restaurant Shake Shack in the CG20 zone 7 Bacchus Avenue. And again, I'll skip the reading of the map numbers. Discussion or guidance for Jennifer, commission members. Would anyone like to offer a comment?
I'll start. Mr. Chairman,
ahead.
my original concerns had to do with if there were going to be additional trips and how that would affect the traffic. as well as, I guess, a little aesthetics. How would it look if there were cars going around the corner, et cetera. On that subject, I honestly like the new design better. I think it looks better overall. And I don't imagine that at most times there'll be a queue of cars there. So a little less concerned than when I originally looked at it. And then, of course, the traffic engineers' comments and the report show really not much change. So can't say much there, but I hope that's true. That's all I can offer.
Thank you, Mr. Sylvain. Anyone else want to comment?
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Joel.
I think it's, a positive referral here, or not referral, an approval that we're headed towards, but I just want to reiterate to staff to please find out about the implications of the FAA approval,
Yep, of course.
because I say, as I read it in Mike's Safranik's report, it was, yes, looks good to me, but subject to.
So noted, Joel, and we'll be sure to confirm that. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman,
Please, Mr. Kyokyo.
I also think the plan is fine. I'll just reiterate my previous concerns about queuing through the pickup window. I'm still a little bit skeptical that there'll be pretty large queuing there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It sounds like this is not going to open until early fall, so that may help, I guess. Some more time here, but we'll see what happens there. But still a little skeptical on that. And I think if there is enormous queuing and it goes into the Ring Road, as they said, that would be the overflow. That seems a little problematic to me. But other than that, I'm fine with the plan and should be okay.
Mr. Chairman, I also am fine with the plan. I love the design, the new design. To just tack on something on Bob's concern there. They did say that the app itself can be a governor against building of a queue. So in other words, you don't even get anything that says your order's ready. If it gets to whatever, some threshold, 15 minutes, I think they said. And that in itself is a big management tool, right? So I think that, if they do that properly, then people will know enough to come in and park until they get the word that their order is ready. So I do think it's manageable from the app to at least some degree. So I'm good with it.
Thank you, Helen. And, I too am in favor of approval of the application. So Jennifer, I think you have your guidance.
Thank you. There's only one thing I'd like to add as part of Abdul's staff report, and this was just about the same condition I had in the first grant of special exception. The signal timing system itself is to be designed to the satisfaction of the traffic engineer, but I need to work through that language, but that will be one of those conditions, the requirements that I add likely prior to probably zoning compliance. I'm not sure. I have to think about it actually, where I want to put it in the resolution. But that'll be added as well.
Thanks, Jen.
Yeah, along with the requirement for they have to come back for a revised floodplain permit. And I think there may be a few little, standard conditions, but that should be it for the above and beyond the standard conditions.
Okay, Jen, thank you very much. Moving to the referrals portion of our agenda, you'll see an A3A referral, a petition of BRT Sconset LLC. We'll probably, Jen, what, in February, if you think we'll get to that one, February 2021?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so that's, again, as noted, will be discussed at a future meeting. So the only item under referrals we'll be talking about tonight is item 2, an 824 referral, December 2020 City Council Agenda Item number 6, request for a renewal of a sewer extension approval for 5 Great Pasture Road, L15002. Again, there was a report prepared by Jennifer back on December 10th on this matter. And Jen, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. I really don't have anything to add. It's pretty self-explanatory. They're requesting a renewal of of that extension, and they're currently under construction. A portion of the water main has already been installed, and they're working on getting the sewer main installed. They just, the time frame expired, so they had to request the renewal.
Questions for Jennifer? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to grant the extension.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
For a positive referral.
Yes.
For
for
positive
referral.
referral to grant the extension. Motion made by Mr. Sylvain. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Okay, motion made and seconded for a positive referral, again, to grant the renewal of the sewer extension. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll have one, well, actually, that will not be our last roll call vote. We also have to do one when we adjourn the meeting. A yes is for a positive referral, a no is not for a positive referral. Mr. Urice,
Yes.
Ms. Hostetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
Yep.
Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
and Chairman Finaldi votes yes. This matter receives a positive referral. Thank you.
Can you tell me who, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, who made the motion and the second? I missed
Harry,
it.
motion.
Harry
Helen.
and Helen.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it for our agenda. There's an item under new business you can take a look at, a few other things. And unless there is anything else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chairman?
Yes.
I beg the commission's indulgence. I had a little trouble logging in this evening, so I got in a couple of minutes late. Did project SE 779 get tabled?
It was a
Yeah.
continuance. The
Okay.
applicant requested a continuance.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Motion
Anything
to,
else? Actually, Joel, we figured out a way to mute you, so you better be careful. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yep. Motion to adjourn.
How about a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Let's have our last roll call vote. Mr. Urice,
yes.
Ms. Hostetter,
Yes.
Mr. Kiokio,
Yes.
Mr. Sylvain,
Yes.
and Chairman Finaldi votes yes. That is our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th roll call vote. I think that might be an all-time record. So congratulations to everybody. And listen,